The White Elk at the Gate. A dream. I stand on the other side of a black iron graveyard gate, watching a milk-white elk standing calm and aware among the gravestones and birch trees. Our eyes meet. I feel no fear, only deep curiosity. Its antlers shimmer like branches touched by starlight. Gracefully, the white elk approaches the gate. Its fur glistens in the soft, ethereal light, and its breath forms delicate clouds in the crisp air.
Here is an AI interpretation from different perspectives. Elk, moose. The elk, or moose, is often a symbol of strength, dignity, and natural wisdom. It represents a connection to the instinctual and spiritual side, something wild yet noble. If an elk approaches you in a dream, it may depict something large and impressive approaching your life, an emotion, a change, a person, or a situation, or the awakening of inner power and intuition. Graveyard and gate. A graveyard in a dream often refers to the past, grief, letting go, or the cycle of life. The gate is a boundary between two worlds, the old and the new, life and death, the conscious and the subconscious. Since the dreamer is outside the graveyard, it may mean you are ready to confront something from the past, but have not yet crossed the boundary. Or that you are processing past issues from the outside, perhaps pondering some sorrow, loss, or memory, but are no longer engulfed by it. Elk at the fence. The fence separates and protects. It is a boundary or an obstacle. When the elk comes near the fence, it suggests that a natural or spiritual force is approaching your boundary, perhaps trying to tell you something. It has not yet crossed the boundary, but is close, like an insight, emotion, or change that is almost ready to come into conscious awareness. Summary. The dream could symbolize a situation where you are confronting the past or a spiritual realization, but still safely outside it. The elk represents this wisdom or change that is approaching you gently yet powerfully. The gate and fence speak of a boundary, crossing which could mean growth, acceptance, or the beginning of a new phase. Spiritual interpretation. In Old Finnish and Nordic traditions, the elk is a sacred animal, often a messenger of the soul or spirit. The graveyard in a dream is the boundary between life and the afterlife, and the gate is a pathway to spiritual consciousness. In this context, the dream may indicate that a message or energy from the spiritual world is approaching you, but you are still safe outside the fence. The elk brings the message gently. It is not a threat, but invites you to listen to the inner silence. The gate can symbolize the boundary of spiritual maturity. You are ready to understand something deeper, but you do not yet have to step over. A dream like this can occur when the inner life deepens, when you begin to recognize mortality, the cycle of life, or your own spiritual power. Psychological interpretation. In Freudian and Jungian terms, the graveyard refers to the subconscious and the shadows of the past, while the elk refers to self-esteem and natural instinct. Thus, the dream could suggest that you are processing some past grief, fear, or memory, but do not yet want to face it directly, hence being outside the fence. The elk represents the healthier, more natural part of you that wants to approach and reconcile with the past. Psychologically, this can be a sign of an internal healing process. You are ready to view the pain of the past more. In Finnish folk belief, the elk, or moose, is the king of the forest and a guardian of boundaries. It moves between worlds and sometimes brings messages from the ancestors. The graveyard gate, in turn, is a place of boundary where the visible and invisible worlds touch each other. From this perspective, the dream could mean that an ancestor or a protective spirit is trying to approach you, but because you are outside the fence, the message is still coming cautiously, from a distance. The appearance of the elk at the graveyard gate is often a dream of good omen. It speaks of protection and blessing. Summary. The elk behind the fence at the graveyard gate is a powerful symbol of a threshold state. It suggests that you are close to an important insight, liberation, or spiritual message, but are still safely outside it. There is nothing bad in the dream. It is gentle and cautionary at the same time, as if the world was saying, Prepare, but do not rush. Everything happens in its own time.